thank you all for coming. And this is the first time we've gotten together, the four of us, since I guess the whirlwind tour of Vermont in the Winnebago after the election, and between the election and the final decision. And we believed that it was really important for us to stand together again, now this close to the end of the election cycle, because we showed that it was possible to run a positive, issue-oriented campaign in Vermont. And in fact, the response we got from Vermonters, not just Democrats, but Vermonters all around the state, affirmed to me, and I'm sure it affirmed to both of you as well, all three of you as well, that Vermonters expect our campaigns to be positive, above board, honest, and about the issues that matter. And I know I've been incredibly disturbed by the tone of this campaign, by Brian Dubie's distortions and his negative commercials that are attacking Peter Shumlin's integrity rather than talking about the issues people care about. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of issues that people care about that Brian Dubie just isn't talking about. And we kind of split them up among us to point out a few of them. And I decided the one that I wanted to talk about was choice. We've heard a lot from Brian Dubie that, the issue of choice doesn't matter. A woman's right to make important health care decisions about her own self, that this is not a priority, and that as governor, he's going to focus on what matters, and that's jobs. And I agree, jobs matter, that's important, but there are a lot of things that are important to women and families in Vermont. And in fact, there's been 5 times when Brian Dubie has been asked the direct question, what he would do to protect a woman's right to choose or not, or would he not? And 5 times he refused to answer that question. And that's a problem for me, as a woman, as a mother of teenage daughters and a teenage son. It's a problem for Vermonters, no matter where you are in the state economically, whether you have a job or you don't have a job. One thing I know as a woman is having control over reproduction really does matter to whether or not you have a job, right? Because an unwanted pregnancy can throw everything up in the air. But I also want to bust the myth that it doesn't matter what the governor thinks about this, that this is a Democratic state, we're pro-choice, it's not going to change, it's settled law. We've heard this before from other governors, and I'll just point to one. Governor Christie of New Jersey. Same kind of, pro-choice Republican. He was upfront about it in the campaign. In fact, a lot of the words that Brian Dubie used in this campaign are shockingly identical to the words used by Governor Christie during his campaign. He said, it's settled law, he's not running, although he's pro-choice, he respects the fact that it's settled law. And that as governor, he's going to be focusing on jobs and the economy. And yet, one of the first things he did in office, when he was making his budget priorities, is he cut nearly $8 million from family planning services. He changed the sex education program in the schools to an abstinence-only education. He took his conservative social agenda, using the budget as the excuse, and changed the direction of New Jersey. And that's a problem. Our health department does a lot with family planning, puts a lot of money into family planning. Our schools grapple with the issue of sex education. And, I guess my message to Brian Dubie is, this is a question we want answered. We think it's time for a positive, issue-oriented campaign. Stop the smear campaign. That is not the way we do things in Vermont. And let's find out where you really stand on these important issues.